So, I want to go into this without much preamble. I want to remind the viewers that one of the substantial objections we have regarding Liana Kerzner is the fact that she has revealed personal and sensitive information about her Liana Care's clients to third parties after their professional relationship ended. Liana Care's clients are mental health peer counseling clients who often confide vulnerable and sensitive data to Liana as part of the topics explored in her various sessions. After she ends the relationship in acrimonious terms, Liana has been found to divulge this private information to her friends and even her Discord server. These are the cases that we have already shown you, those involving Mitchell Jura, Song Eriksson, and Giant Enemy Crab. Liana Kerzner, it bears repeating, is not licensed, nor does she have an education or degree in the field of mental health. She operates within a category that does not require licensing, but her actions keep building the case that it should, perhaps, be a licensed and monitored position. In the last episode, when I mentioned that Moises followed the pattern of Liana's discarded ex-friends that covered the historical gamut from idealization to eventual vilification and demonization, I wasn't fully aware of just how faithful the pattern was. Because you see, this section here, these details were actually shared by Moises with Liana within the confines of their peer counseling relationship. And here we have Liana Kerzner, several months after she ended the relationship after a conflict that I am now pretty sure she herself engineered, disclosing this information. Moises was shocked that the details about a very difficult time in his life have been liberally shared by Liana Kerzner to third parties and painted as lies and sob stories. Because if she said this to Asher, she very likely has said this to multiple people, just like she does with Emily Schooley or Song or Mitchell Jura.
It's the pattern, right? It's the pattern that makes the difference.
Once again, I must underline that these people resort to Liana because they cannot afford or are not comfortable with conventional modes of therapy. They trust this woman with information with the understanding that she will take her ethics seriously. Instead, this is what they get. And what else do they get? A release form that was covered in this episode that reduces their rights to complain to zero and all indemnity reduced to $1. And that is how much Liana cares. And me revealing this information, these violations of mental health counseling trust, among other things, is what Liana Kerzner calls a hate campaign and a vindictive campaign to destroy her job. In fact, on her Feedback Friday video on July 24th, she was crowing about how lucky she is.
You know, if I worked for a less understanding media company, the people who are lying about me to destroy my business would have succeeded, and that's one, I'm lucky. Two, it's not right when people do it. And I do.
So, Liana Kerzner's It's Not Therapy show is broadcast on Saga 960 AM. On her Patreon, several times, Liana Kerzner has said that the letters that were sent to the station have all been explained away by her to management and that they have sided with her. Therefore, we are now to believe the management of the station is very understanding in regards to not only Liana Kerzner slandering, libeling, sicking the police on, and exploiting an at-risk individual, namely my husband, while also refusing to take down the episode of his interview that she uses to garner goodwill while at the same time blackening his name and leveraging stigma against him, but that they are also very understanding about their on-the-air mental health not a therapist expert advertising her peer counseling services on their airwaves, peer counseling services which have then been used to violate the confidentiality and privacy of now 4 proven clients. And I am positive that as time goes on, we will find out there are more. By Liana's own words, therefore, these are all acceptable things to her employers. Who are her employers, anyways? So, as the independent creator of the show, Liana is the producer. She handles curation and production and structure herself, so she doesn't work under any producers. But even though It's Not Therapy is independently created and produced by her, Canadian broadcasting regulations do dictate that the station licensee holds the ultimate responsibility for everything broadcast on its airwaves. That means that programming, formatting, design, and schedule development will fall directly under the station's core executive managers instead of a program director. According to Liana's own words, if they are to be believed, these people see no objection to any of this. Liana's clientele, who seek her out precisely because they lack the financial resources to pursue expensive therapy, are also lacking in means that would make any protracted legal action possible. A young female author who is still finding her financial feet after leaving an abusive household, 2 autistic men financially dependent on their families, a young Latino gay man without significant financial resources, and a gay, disabled, and at-risk individual. None of them pose any significant financial legal risks by themselves, and so it happens, as many of these cases go, one must rely on the ethics and compassions of people from the corporate world to do the right thing. Predictably, it is also the thing that one can reliably expect them not to do. After all, they're in the entertainment business, and Liana Kerzner is entertaining. And by that, I don't mean that she is particularly funny or witty or even amusing. I mean that she is a venue of entertainment. Her tried and true routine of fact distortion, lies, context dropping, needling, character assassination, and then subsequent self-victimization when her victims react to her maneuvers are a source of entertainment. They provide Liana with the only relevance she is capable of wielding: performative martyrdom. This provides an acceptable, though not overbearing, level of scandalous lubrication to her image, so she can continue to cosplay as the independent woman saying tough things, which is the reductionist caricature that Saga 960 AM sells of her. Accuracy, boundaries, ethics, they're not even secondary to the equation. They don't even make it to the blackboard at all. I mean, to the corporate mind. What's the value of 4, so far, violated client confidences, of privately disclosed trauma paraded to be ridiculed to a paying audience? To Liana Kerzner and Saga 960 AM, very little compared to everything else she might be pulling in. In her own words,
I'm lucky.
sit with that for a minute, and I must ask you a question. If my revealing of these things is a potential ruination for Liana Kerzner, then I need to ask you this. Who ruined her reputation? Me, for saying what she did? Or Liana Kerzner herself, for doing what she did? And therein lies the kernel of DARVO in all of this. Because she's trying to turn the action of revealing an unethical proceeding into an unethical proceeding. So you focus on the disclosure, but you don't focus on what the contents of the disclosure are. And that is how she can get away scot-free from it. There are now 4 people whose intimacies and their most vulnerable disclosures have been violated and publicized by Liana Kerzner to several people. That is something that you really shouldn't ignore.
It's the pattern, right? It's the pattern that makes the difference.
Nor the fact that they were her clients, her Liana Cares clients, which carries this very simple implication that every Liana Cares client who exists out there right now lives under the very real possibility that the moment that they do something that she dislikes, they could very easily end up like Song or Mitchell Jura or Moises.
And someone who does it as a habit to bully people, it's the pattern.
And like in so many of these cases, once you find it happening to you and you consider it outrageous and something that shouldn't happen, well, we'll receive your complaints. They will turn to your abuser, Liana Kerzner, ask her to explain, never ask you anything. Consider themselves satisfied with her explanation and file your complaint away. And when you start speaking up, when you start trying to set the record straight, since no one else is going to help you, well, then you will be a stalker, a harasser, a buzzsaw of lunacy, Tweedledum and Tweedlemoran, and many other things. Even if you reach out to other people who have experienced the same thing, well, then she'll say this.
One person was somebody that I know that the people who are gathering people, like high school bully style, they bashed this particular person like hard, like hated them, like caused a real problem for me because they just had nothing good to say about this person. And now they're like, oh, she lied about all of that. Like, we have the Discord chats that show, no, they put in writing they couldn't stand this guy. But of course now it's, oh no, she just lied about that. Haha. It's like, oh, I don't have to do anything here. This is gonna end so badly for someone because they're lying about me lying. But, old me would have gone, wow, I should really let this person know. I should send the evidence. New me is like, no, because you call in wellness checks, you get accused of swatting.
Nah, you ghoulish bitch. Go ahead and show the evidence. Go ahead and disprove what I am showing. In fact, that's what I've been asking for 18 months. Show the proof. Show the evidence. But you never will. And I'm going to point something out. Unlike Liana Kerzner, I am not 5 years old. I can, in fact, dislike someone, not get along with them, and still be able to recognize the fact that they've been fucked over by her, that they have been treated very poorly by her, and that even they've had their rights rolled over by her. Liana, we are not children. We can agree over the fact that you are a reprehensible human being without being best buddies, okay? That shows you that this woman got stuck in the 90s when she was a teenager. And to be honest, I don't know who she's talking about here because that's what she does. She always talks in insinuations and vagueness and never actually shows anything. I've shown you all the lies she has told. I have shown you the documentation, and I have shown you that she has betrayed so far the confidentialities of 4 clients of hers. Those things can't be denied, and those things are things she will never address. Instead, she will now try to find a way for Moises, for example, to have been magically my client, and so I am now breaking confidentiality. Mark your calendars, because that's going to be her next attempt. But yeah, there's people I didn't like. And to be honest, a lot of the time I was looking at the picture that Liana Kerzner was painting of these people. I have a very different opinion of Emily Schooley now. I mean, I still don't like her. I just don't think that Liana's portrait of her is accurate. And I certainly have changed my opinion of Liana Kerzner. I used to think she was one of the most truthful and one of the most honest people, too. But that turned out to be a very well-rehearsed role. And all of that is false. So, Liana, here's something for you to digest. In the view of new evidence, mature human beings look at the things that they took for granted and they considered to be true facts, and they go back and revise those opinions. That's what adults do. And so I went back and I looked at a lot of the evidence, like the image that you painted of Roberta Vaughn, for example, and found that to be false. So of course, the woman I thought was, as you called her, a crazy bitch, turned out to just be a victim of your abuses. And so much so for many other people as well. I might still not like some of them, but that doesn't mean that we can't agree on the fact that you are a ghoulish bitch.
I don't have to cut off my nose to try to save someone else's face, right? And that's difficult for me to experience that change.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only.
That's Liana Kerzner's game. She hits you with so many things all over the place that she's counting on you not paying attention towards the end of it. Not paying attention to the self-contradiction, not paying attention to all of the ethical violations. That would not be a good thing for Liana Kerzner.
Because I like the fact that I am considerate of people, and recognizing that I was considerate to the point of stupidity. I'm realizing how much more work I still have to do in that regard. But it's happening. And